boys? Welcome back. Four Corners, week 2. Going over our week 1 picks. I had LA winning, covering, beating Oakland's. That was a win for me. And then I also took Tennessee against Miami. They sucked it up. Fortunately, that pick lost. Boomer busts. Kind of controversial for me this last week. Come on. What the hell? Saquon Barkley shut down the whole game.
Oh, he's a beast.
Shut down the whole game. 16 carries, 37 yards, and then pulls off a 62-yard touchdown.
His touchdown was dirty.
4 or 5 missed tackles.
Missed tackles, he ran through them.
It was
going to be a big play.
It was one play. Jacksonville had him, man. I definitely think that was a good pick. And then my boom was Kirk Cousins. Finished with a pretty solid game, 2 touchdowns, over 250 yards passing. However, I think he had some plays to Thielen and to Diggs that could have gone for big plays that just didn't connect. First game of the season, I think it was a solid pick, just didn't reach those boom numbers. So
good pick, not quite to boom, but still solid. Nolan?
So I had the Houston game. They lost to the Patriots. They lost by 7. It was 6.5. And then I also had the Denver game by 3, so I pushed on that one. My bust was Russell Wilson. I would say he did decent. He got sacked a decent amount, but but my boom though was Joe Mixon. He came out 17 rushes for 95 yards and a touchdown. He's starting to show star potential, and I think this week he's going to come out and light people up.
Caught the ball well, too. He looks good.
He does.
Me and you talked about Bernard last time. He wasn't even a factor.
Nope.
He was only on the field 9 times the entire game. 9 times.
So,
That's good.
That is good.
So my last week, my 2 picks were the Baltimore Ravens minus 7.5 over the Bills. It was close for about 2 minutes in that game, and then they blew them out. That was an easy one. And then I also had the LA Rams at minus 4.5 over the Raiders, which the first half concerned me, but then they blew them out of the water second half, so that felt good.
Oh yeah, did they score 23 extra points?
Yeah, just came out firing.
But and then my boomer bust, my boom struggled. It was kind of a wacky game. They took hour breaks they took an hour break every hour. So it's kind of hard for most of those players to get on track, but my guy definitely struggled. I had Kenyon Drake. He got outrushed by Frank Gore. I am positive on him still a little because he outsnapped him. He had 80% of the running back snaps. He just didn't carry the ball well. So I do see value in the future. And then my bust was Kareem Hunt. He rushed under 60 yards, didn't catch a ball, no touchdown, so I think that's a pretty good one for such a high-scoring game.
I don't remember who I had for my bust, for my boom, but my bust was Jimmy Garoppolo.
You
and Royce Freeman. And
he almost lost his job.
He almost lost his job.
Lindsay
came in and just, he
Now, how do you think that's going to turn out? Do you think Lindsay's going to end up taking more carries, or do you think you're going to just split right now?
For sure, he's probably going to get a little more usage, but I feel like that's just the competition right now. Whoever's going to take it's going to take it.
Because, he didn't rush.
It's clear
he wasn't bad.
Yeah,
so, the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Devontae Booker's
He's
out,
gone.
so it's still between them. So, even if they split carries, right now he's my 3rd running back, so I feel like that's right
I expected a 50-50 split between Booker and Freeman, but Freeman and Lindsay is pretty much the same thing. So I don't see any negative on it.
It was exact same yardage, if I wasn't mistaken.
Yeah,
they both didn't
really have the receiving work.
And he looked better, and then my bust was Jimmy G. I felt like that turned out pretty well on my behalf anyway. He struggled pretty well against the Vikings.
Yeah.
That Vikings
3 picks.
defense, man, that Vikings defense is going to put up some historic numbers this year. As far as this week, though, I'm going to go with my boom.
Who were your picks?
My picks last week, I'm sorry. My picks, I had the Vikings, so that's a sweet cover. But then I also took a homer pick, the first week of the season. I got to go with my Titans. Weird game, like you said, the lightning and all that.
A lot of injuries occurred on that game.
So, but
Lenny Walker out for the season.
Really got me worried, man. Yeah, we lose our tight end.
Hurt.
Mariota's already hurt. Derrick Henry, I mean, he's my bust for the week, you know, guys. He's just not the running back. He's not the Heisman winner from Alabama, you know.
So
when are they?
Ask you one question though.
Come in.
So during that last game, he had a 62-yard rush for a touchdown that got called back.
Yes.
So now, if that didn't get called back, would that have changed your perception of him?
Well, I mean, maybe because yes, he got me the fantasy points, but he's still only averaging 2.34 yards a carry. Like, and with our offensive line and with it's just crazy.
I just think that he's like a game script dependent, so he's gonna be good when the Titans are leading,
but
I don't see that happening very often. So I think he's a risky.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, my boom is Tyler Lockett. I just feel like with Doug Baldwin out and with them playing the Bears this week, they're gonna be behind.
Speedster.
You know, he's gonna have to pass the ball a lot to beat the Bears, so. Just feel like he's going to get a boatload of targets.
What about your line covers this week?
As far as this week, I mean, it's pretty tough this week. I'm going to go just here for a safe pick. I'm going to go with the Pats over the Jags. And
it's an even line?
It's an even line, so I mean, I would take the Pats straight up. I mean,
at Jags?
I'm
opposite
that pick.
Fournette's coming in injured too.
Yeah, and Fournette's coming in injured.
They want revenge.
Yeah, but you got that defense.
Jacksonville's going to shut down Tom Brady.
I feel like that defense.
Edelman's still not there.
He's not, but
I like the Patriots too.
I do like the Patriots. And then as far as my second pick, I'm gonna go with the Eagles over the Bucks. I just feel like that was the game of the year for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah.
You know, he has that 1 or 2 game every year. That was it.
He's never repeated.
What is that line? That line's -3.
So
Philly.
Jameis coming back. So and he's not gonna put it up that number. He's against that defense.
Yeah, with all those penalties too in that first game with Philly.
Jameis
that game should have been way over.
But yeah, I mean I watched Ryan Fitzpatrick, play in New York so long. I mean, I definitely think when he's on, he's a good quarterback. But that was Hall of Fame numbers he put up. Not one. So I mean,
you want to go?
Go ahead, Tanner. I mean,
Well, my game lines that I'm targeting this week, I got Pittsburgh -5.5 at home. I think that team is a different beast at home. I think Big Ben steps up from his 3-interception performance last week, and he just goes off. Those wide receivers go off. Connor goes off. I think that this is the week that Kansas City's D really gets exposed. So I'm taking Pittsburgh -5.5, and then my second pick is San Francisco -3.5. I was intrigued. I think Minnesota is one of the best teams in the NFL, and they were in that game the entire time, even with Garoppolo throwing 3 picks and Alfred Morris fumbling at the goal line. They were in that game the whole time. They lost by 8.
Garoppolo had to lose sometime.
Yeah, no, so. I mean, the Vikings is a good one to lose against. I just don't see them going back home, their home opener, and losing to Detroit. And the line's 3.5 San Francisco, which isn't that big of a line to cover, so I got them. My boom for the week, Chris Thompson, Washington Redskins. They're up against Indy. Indy had a weak performance against Mixon last week. Thompson was their highest targeted receiver last week for their game against Arizona. He also had over 60 yards rushing, so he had a beast game last year. I think that Alex Smith is kind of getting that Tyreek Hill feel from him. Obviously, he's not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he's getting that comfort factor with him. He targeted him the most in the first game, so I think he goes off this game. Then my bust is Gronk against Jacksonville. Great D. I think that they're going to focus a lot on taking away that weapon and forcing them to throw to their receivers. What little they have left of receivers, and then some running backs. So I think Gronk.
You have him on your fantasy team, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Are you starting?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't. But I think he has under 50 yards receiving and no touchdown.
No touchdown, you said? No touchdown.
Gronk,
maybe.
Rough week.
I think you're sniffing right there. I think that's going to be a low scoring game.
It wasn't in the playoffs. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, It's
it
Brady
was in the
against
first
that
half.
defense.
It was in the first half, and
But that's how the Patriots are. It's always that way.
Yeah, but they don't have Edelman now.
you know,
I
they
do.
don't have
Taking a
Blunt at the
huge
goal
way
line.
back.
They're a spinning door
Still,
at
but they're
receiver.
just,
I
but
think
that's how
they're
they've
in trouble
always
this
been.
year.
James White, they've got the backs. They got Rex Burkhead.
I mean, they're going to score. I just don't think.
Exactly.
I think they're going to take away Gronk specifically on purpose.
And just
so I just
double team and triple team for sure.
Mike?
Okay. I think I'm gonna go here. As far as boom bust, I'm gonna start there. Antonio Brown, I think, is gonna be bust for me this week. I like Kansas City here. I also like the touches to go to Connor, to Juju Smith-Schuster, to James or McDonald, whoever plays over the middle. I think Brown doesn't see a lot of the throws there. I don't know why I'm feeling that way, but I think Antonio Brown has 60 less yards, no touchdowns. I think it's a quiet game. I think he still has 10 or 11 targets, but the positions and the drives are going to go somewhere else. Jarvis Landry, Cleveland Browns in New Orleans in the Dome. I think he had over 100 yards last week. He's like Tyrod Taylor is targeting him all
11
game.
catches for 15 targets.
I think he's going to catch another 13, 14 balls, have 20 targets maybe. That potential is up there because it may be a high scoring game. I think Cleveland's going to struggle to keep up with New Orleans. So they're going to be throwing the ball a lot because New Orleans still scored 40 points even though they lost. I mean, their offense is still there. So
your boom is, your bust is, Antonio Brown. I don't think he can ever be considered a bust.
I know,
no matter what.
It's the exact same way I'm going with my pick though. I like Kansas City in that game.
Yeah,
I give me five.
You
give me
gotta
5.5.
have him. If you're going to beat the Steelers, you need to stop Antonio Brown.
Yep.
So I
Now,
understand your explanation.
If Eric Berry comes back, the Chiefs' defense does have a chance. But if he's absent again, it's gonna be tough.
They did decent against Rivers, but
games this week. I'm taking Kansas City at Pittsburgh. I'm taking that pick. I love the way Kansas City started. Patrick Mahomes. Really surprised me that last week. I don't want to. I'm cautionary to call it a season-long success. I don't want to go off of 1 week, but Kansas City I think wins in Pittsburgh, surprises everybody.
Plus 5.5.
Yeah, so
you got that opposite.
I'll take that. I'll take that against you. Absolutely.
Loser has the shotgun of beer to open up next show.
All right.
I like that one. Here we go.
There you go.
All right. Well, make it one of those Rocky Mountain waters you guys drink. So I'm not. But second pick, I like Cleveland to keep it close against New Orleans. 8.5 is a big line there. I think Vegas is asking me to take them, but I think they're going to keep it close. I think it's going to be a 7-point game, maybe a 6-point game. Cleveland covers there. They lose the game though. I think New Orleans wins the game. So.
All right, so I'll get my picks out of the way. So I know you guys are going to question me in my first one. This is a very aggressive one.
Wait. Oh, what? Oh,
I'm 0-1-1.
Oh, okay.
But I'm about to be 2-1-1. I'm going to go the Rams home against Arizona. Last season, the Rams beat them 33-0 and then 32-16.
What's the line?
It's 13.5.
13.5?
13.5.
For the NFL.
And touchdowns.
You have a decent.
in the NFL.
Well, look at this. You have a
I
decent defense in Washington last week that just crushed Cardinals. Now you have probably one of the best defenses going against them.
True.
So I'm projecting the Rams' offense is unstoppable. I love the Rams' offense all the way around. And then
Did you guys read that article about McVay? He can recall every play.
Every single play
he's ever done.
From 2015, everything.
That's just insane to have that.
His memory is wild.
I can't even remember.
Perfect recall is tough to have. Those people are.
That's a great coach. And then my second pick, I got
people are so high.
Oakland at Denver. I'm taking Denver on this one. We saw what happened with Derek Carr.
Ew.
He's actually my bust.
Sorry.
You get some big pressure on him. He's going to throw interceptions.
The bust, but I just feel like
I think Oakland's winning that. No offense.
Oh, I don't. Von Miller's back to Von Miller. Von Miller's officially. I'll bet you a beer on that one because Von Miller He came out last week with 3 sacks. The guy is a force of nature.
No, yeah.
Derek Carr, when he gets, what he needs is to throw quick routes. And the Rams exposed him. You stop the quick routes, you're going to make him throw deep, and he's going to throw an interception.
Who's in Denver's secondary stopping them?
He's your bust.
Harris.
No one stopped. They're getting thrown on all game. What Doug Martin?
He's your bust, but he's your boom for the season.
No, he's my bust for the week.
Yeah. So you got Denver -4, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Denver -4.
And then your boom?
My boom, I'm going with Mike Williams. With the Chargers, actually. He had 5 receptions last week for 81 yards. He's going against the Bills. And their secondary is horrible. Not only that, but they're going to take a lot of their attention towards Keenan Allen. So I think Mike Williams is going to get out there and make something happen.
I really like that pick. I really like that pick.
I think he's going to have his first TD.
All right. So do we want to go around and say like all of our picks real quick?
We can.
Just list them off. You don't have to explain them, but just
week 2 picks. Just overall, so we can get this on record, on track. Cincinnati wins tonight at home against Baltimore.
When's the on that one?
Atlanta over Carolina. LA Chargers over Buffalo. Minnesota Vikings over Green Bay. New Orleans Saints over Cleveland at home. The Jets. Woo! Homer pick, 31-point victors from week 1. Dominating the Dolphins in their division game. Houston Texans over Tennessee. KC in Pittsburgh. The Philadelphia Eagles over Tampa Bay. Indianapolis Colts over Washington. The LA Rams over Arizona. I have San Francisco winning over Detroit. Oakland in Denver taking that victory, coming back strong after their week 1 loss. Jacksonville getting revenge against New England at home. Even without Leonard Fournette, I think Jacksonville keeps close, wins that game. Dallas Cowboys, Sunday Night Football over New York Giants. And then Chicago Bears over Seattle Monday nights. 28-24 if we want to keep tiebreakers.
So I got Cincinnati, Atlanta, New Orleans, Houston, Washington, Pittsburgh. I got the Chargers. The Jets, surprisingly, over Miami. Minnesota, Philly, the Rams, San Francisco, Denver, Jacksonville, the Giants, and Chicago.
All right, mine I got Baltimore over Cincinnati tonight, and then Carolina over Atlanta, New Orleans over Cleveland, Houston over Tennessee, Washington over Indianapolis, Pittsburgh over Kansas City, the Chargers over the Bills. I got Miami going into New York and taking the Jets out.
Ooh,
obviously.
It's a bad pick, Tanner. A lot of your picks have been bad. So
I got Minnesota winning at Green Bay, Philadelphia beating Tampa Bay, Arizona, the Rams over the Cardinals. Not Arizona. I'm not picking Arizona.
Not after last week.
San Francisco over Detroit, Denver over Oakland, New England over Jacksonville, the Giants over the Cowboys, and then Monday night I got Chicago beating Seattle.
Score on that game?
I think it'll be lower scoring. I'm gonna go 21-14.
Did you get
something
a score?
Simple, nothing weird.
21-14 Chicago. Okay. Score? Did you pick one? No.
Yeah, I think it was 24-21. Chicago.
I'll say 17-10 Chicago.
I'll have Chicago in that game. I'm not impressed with Seattle at all.
Your picks, Kenny?
So what about
my picks? I'm gonna go with the Ravens, the Vikings, the Redskins, the Steelers at home, the Saints at home. I'm gonna go with the Eagles at the Bucks. That's also one of my line picks. I'm gonna go with the Panthers over the Falcons in Atlanta. I'm going to go with the Dolphins over the Jets at New York. I'm also going to go with Houston over the Titans, the Chargers over the Bills. The Bills just looked like straight trash last week. So, and then I'm going to go with the Niners over the Lions, the Rams over the Cardinals, the Patriots over the Jaguars, and I'm going to go with the Raiders over the Broncos. I just feel like after last week, they've got to come out.
Damn good pick.
If they let the Broncos come out and win 2 in a row, and they all fall to 1-1 in that division, it's going to be scary for that division.
I think they're gonna wake up. I think Oakland's waking up.
I've also got the Giants going into Dallas and beating the Cowboys. I just feel like the Giants. I don't trust Cowboys other than Zeke.
There's no weapons there.
Yeah, no,
they all played well against Jacksonville.
He usually played all right too.
Yeah, but I just feel like he played all right, but they don't get to the end zone. Like, yes, they do
it's a bland offense.
Yeah, it's
a
just
bland offense.
We're gonna hand it to Zeke for 3 tries, and on 3rd down, we're gonna do rollout.
He's a force, but
he is for sure.
Monday night.
And then I got the Bears at the beating Seattle. My score is 17-10. Just feel like it will be low scoring, but the Bears. I like Khalil Mack, man. That guy's a freak.
I have 28-24. I have a little higher scoring.
What are the scores for tonight's game?
52 over unders.
Ravens at the Bengals. I got the Ravens winning, so I'm gonna say 28-17.
With the Ravens.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati.
I got the Ravens 24-10. I think the Ravens are dark horse this year. I see them actually going to the AFC Championship game.
24-10?
AFC Championship.
Joe Flacco? Oh,
we got that. What's
God.
the date? September 13th?
God, I will.
13.
AFC Championship game.
I will give you that bump a week before that.
So I'm going to call. We're going to see a performance to make a top 5 running back tonight by Joe Mixon. It's going to be 24-17 Bengals. Joe Mixon is going to rush for over 100 yards and a touchdown tonight.
Joe Mixon.
He's going to show that he is the real deal
Ravens
against the Ravens.
You know, I mean, I'm Tanner. I'm against you today. I honestly
against me.
Baltimore.
Last week.
Yeah.
I don't think their defense is as good. They were playing Buffalo. All right, you're overrating them. They're playing Buffalo.
It's not necessarily their D. I think
Exactly.
I think that Flacco plays better under pressure, and I think them bringing in Lamar Jackson kind of lit a fire under him. And I think he's gonna have a great year.
Flacco last season against the Bengals threw for 50. He only had 53% passer.
Yeah.
Or percentage passing. He was horrible last year against the Bengals.
I think
last year in general.
Cincinnati really.
Okay, well against the Bills,
really showed me something big against Indianapolis last week. I thought stopping. I think Andrew Luck still played well.
So
I think that's my dark horse.
Now,
in the
would
AFC,
you think that the performance last week that the Ravens did, that they're rushing per yard, would be better than 3.4?
You know,
yes, I would 100%.
Cincinnati's a hell of a
3.4.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's
And the only reason why
a hell
that's
of a lot
boosted is
better
because
than
of Lamar
Buffalo.
Miller's
Exactly.
or Lamar Jackson's 5.8 percentage. I was like, what?
You know, Cincinnati's a
They're
hell
not
of a lot
good.
better. I think Cincinnati wins this running away. I think it's like
I don't know about running away.
31-14 Cincinnati.
Ooh,
No.
I think Joe Flacco had a great opening game against a Buffalo defense that has nobody. I think Joe Flacco. You know, I don't have the strongest faith in him. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. I mean, and to doubt anybody like that is tough to do. But he hasn't shown anything at all to me since he's signed that contract. 2 or 3 years left on that. I don't know what it is, but they drafted Lamar Jackson for a reason. Yes, I think that does light a competitive. I think he starts taking more chances though, and that leads to more turnovers and keeps the games closer. But Cincinnati running away 31-17 tonight.